Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Brittany here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about marriage. I had one of my subscribers to ask me if I could make a video about marriage, and I thought that that would be a really good idea because I've actually had a couple of people ask me questions about marriage. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So if you're interested, keep watching. So my name is Brittany and this is my husband.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I think kind of beat me to the punch. And my name's full name, Ayodeji Atalade Famaiwa. I go by Deji for short, as most of you guys already know.
Government? Okay.
Hello.
We met in 2009. No, 2008. We met in 2008 on my birthday. Deji was a friend of mine, and she introduced us on my birthday. We had like a girls' night. We all went out, and he was the only guy. He was kind of in the area when my birthday dinner was going on, and she was like, hey, do you mind if my friend Deji stops by? And I was like, you know, it was my birthday, so I was like, yeah, the more the merrier. So he came, and immediately we kind of clicked. Like, I wasn't really attracted to you like that at the very beginning.
That's what she says.
Because I had just kind of gotten out of like a long-term relationship, so I was just trying to have a little bit of fun and nothing serious. And but we clicked. Like, he was really funny, and we were making jokes back and forth, and we really had a good time that night. And so we just continued communication, and here we are now.
Yeah, for regards to courtship, you know, I think it's a very important. So for me, we were dating a good 5 years. 5 years straight. She was, at the time we were dating, she was in school. I think, if I remember correctly, first 2 years she was actually in school, about to finish up her undergrad. I was already working. I was already out of school for a while, actually. Leading up to that, I want to say within that maybe 3.5 years in, I decided to go back to school myself to get my master's in information security. And I knew that trying to propose / want to get married during that time period wasn't enough. I didn't feel like I had enough time. School was pretty much, I was busy Monday through Sunday. So I figured, let me finish school first. So we courted for 5 years.
Yeah. How we became engaged, it was a lovely engagement. Deji, it was once again my birthday. You gotta think about doing celebrations on my birthday.
Man, yeah, I tried.
So
you know, before she goes any further, the reason why I did on her birthday, because it was the 25th birthday, I felt like that was a perfect timing to do this, and I planned out the whole weekend. You know,
even though I told him, I was like, whenever we get engaged, don't do it on my birthday.
But it wasn't,
because my birthday is its own celebration, okay? I want a separate celebration for engagement. So he waited until the day after my birthday to propose.
Thank you.
Still almost the same thing.
It's not your birthday though.
It's okay.
It's the day after birthday.
But when we got engaged, Deji, he pretty much planned out, don't shake the table. Deji pretty much planned out the weekend, and you know, we had dinner with friends and everything for my birthday. It was a really nice weekend. And that Sunday, I believe my birthday was on Saturday, so that Sunday he took me downtown Atlanta for a little date, and we had dinner. We did a horse and carriage ride, and then at the end we got on the Skyview Ferris wheel in Atlanta. And at the very top, he got the VIP cart so that the bottom was glass so we could see down. At the very top, it stopped, and that's where he proposed. So it was a lovely proposal. And baby, you're gonna shake the table if you keep your feet. So it was a lovely proposal, and after we came down, there was a VIP section behind the Ferris wheel that I didn't even know existed, and all of my family and friends were there, and it was just lovely. It was a wonderful, wonderful night.
For preparing for marriage, we decided to do premarital counseling through our church, and the cool thing about it, it was for 6 months. So honestly, I definitely recommend anyone to definitely do premarital before marriage, because it actually provides you an opportunity to learn your partner more and learn the dislikes and likes, and at the same time be able to build a strong relationship leading up to marriage. Yeah,
premarital counseling was so amazing, and I'm so glad we did it. And I would highly recommend that any couple that would like to get married, or any engaged couple, take premarital counseling so that it can really help you to get to know your partner better, know their history, their family, their their thoughts about different issues, things that a lot of times you don't even think to bring up. Premarital counseling will bring up and help you to work through potential issues that could come up in your marriage later. Highly recommend it.
I would suggest one book for everyone to get, even if you're married or about to get married. Definitely read 5 Love Languages. Both of you guys, y'all read it together. Y'all can read it out loud. You'll learn a lot from that, just as a foundation.
Foundation for how to love.
How to love, yeah.
Your future spouse. And even if you're not married, you're just a single woman, and you want to know your own love language and how you receive love. It's a wonderful book.
Same thing for guys as well.
Yeah.
So.
I would have to say at our reception, we did a dance to Michael Jackson, which I love this song, Rock With You, Michael Jackson. So we did our first dance to that song, and it was really special to me because we had a choreographer to choreograph it, and that was like a really great bonding experience leading up to the wedding, because we were going to practice to dance or whatever, and this was like our big night to reveal our big dance, and it was just a lot of fun, and it was really cute, and I really enjoyed that. That was a really fun time with you. That's a memory that stands out to me from our wedding day. What about you?
For me, I would definitely say reception as well. I'm not saying the ceremony. I love the ceremony in regards to the vows, but I would say memory for me would be during the reception. There was one part of it where we were all wearing attire, which is Nigerian clothes, and it appeared my mom had a friend that was from out of town that wanted us to do a little game to where there was a special hat to find the king. To find the groom. To find the groom, I'm sorry, to find the groom. And it would only fit one person's head, which unfortunately this hat was customized to my head, so not just anybody could wear it. So we pulled like 3 other people outside the crowd, I guess, from our guests. And they sat down, and then Brittany had to go through, I think, if I remember correctly, blindfolded.
No, I wasn't blindfolded, but I had to go through each person's head.
Oh, you had to go through each person's head to confirm.
And which person fits this hat, because that's my group.
It was almost like a Cinderella story.
Yeah, like a glass slipper, like the special princess was,
so I thought that was kind of cool. I enjoyed
that. That was really cool. And that was like unplanned, because literally while I was putting on my attire, your mom came to me with a hat and told me, this is what you're going to do. And I was like, what? But it was, of course, I was at the end, perfect.
So everybody thought they were crossing their fingers thinking it was them. No, Brad, it don't work like that. No,
that was fun.
That's for me. So I definitely thought that was kind of fun. It plays a big role in our marriage, when it comes to praying together or reading the Bible, and then also being able to do that for our son as well, so he can I feel like because of Noah now, I feel like we kind of fell off a little bit. No, we fell off a lot. It's been very difficult trying to get back into the word, or just finding the time to do that, because most of the time we feel like Noah's taking up our time. Stuff that we used to be able to do, it's difficult to do, because now that we have a new addition that needs our assistance all the time, when they need it, whenever they need it.
Yeah.
They're pretty much bosses.
Noah is just the boss, okay?
He's the boss,
he just hogs all of our time for everything. Yeah, but God is really our foundation. We went into this marriage with God as the foundation, and even though it's difficult now, it's not like we've completely abandoned it, because we still do pray. I read Bible stories to my son. It's important to us. God is huge in our marriage, because I feel like it's Him that brought us together. Absolutely. And our marriage, I feel like it's supposed to glorify Him. We came together for a purpose, and there's something that I couldn't do and that He couldn't do separate. God brought us together to accomplish things for His kingdom together. So God is the foundation and will always be the foundation of our marriage. Like I said, like my husband said, we have kind of fallen off, but it's not something that we will ever abandon.
Oh, no, not
and we're going to work to get back on track the way we used to be. It's just been, a huge life shift having a baby. So that's that. But God plays a huge role in our marriage.
I would say one difficult part of marriage would probably be just kind of being on the same page, because everyone's going to have their disagreements regards to their likings, on and so forth. So usually we always try to come to an agreement, or sometimes learning to take an L, what we call a loss. Usually the guys are going to be the ones taking that, but I would say.
Sorry guys, the TV was on.
Why? I come on looking up or something.
I feel like it might be flashing on our faces or something.
I don't feel like it was that difficult for us, because we were already leading up to it as we were dating. Like, you know, we were already preparing for it. Like, I decided this is how I knew that she was alone. I decided to add her to my phone.
You're going too far. That's a question that's coming in the future.
Okay. All right. Well, let me stop, guys. Sorry.
Okay, well, let me just answer. The most difficult part of marriage for me is learning to accept the flaws of another person, of your spouse. Absolutely. I mean, I know I have flaws too. We all have flaws.
I thought it was perfect, guys.
No, that's the most difficult part, because it's something that will never stop. It's every single day of your marriage. You're going to have to accept that this person does not do things the way you do things.
Negative.
It's going to be really frustrating. Like, it's frustrating every day. Every single day something happens where I'm like, what? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Obviously it makes sense to him. This is how he's been doing it his whole life. But to me, it's just like, what is going on here? And, you know, you communicate to your spouse, oh, can we do this differently? I don't like the way you do this, or I don't like when this happens, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't always change, because that is a part of who he is and a part of who I am, and that's just what it is. I mean, there are a lot of things that you can compromise on when you get married, but there's some things that are just a part of who we are, and you have to accept people for who they are right in that moment. And that, to me, is the most difficult thing about marriage.
Yeah, you're not gonna find someone who is exactly. You wouldn't want to be with someone who's exactly like you. You're gonna bump heads all the time. You go.
Okay, I'll go. Okay.
No, you go for it.
I knew that Deji was the one.
How got you?
Gosh, I knew very early on, because Deji was different. He was the most respectful man that I ever met. He was very kind. He was very generous. He had a gentle spirit. He was outgoing and spontaneous. It was just kind of everything that I imagined I wanted my husband to be. He was. And I just knew. I just had this feeling. I was like, this guy is the right one, because he loves God, and every guy before him did not love God that I, dated. Like, there was no man that had all those qualities I wanted, and the most important one was that he loved God and that he wanted to build a Christian relationship. That stood out to me, and I said, he's the one.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you that, but
told me that. Hey, I'm hearing this for the first time, guys. For me, how I knew Brittany was the one, I think what first started off was her personality and how caring she was. For me and her, I feel like we have the same background in regards to caring for others in our families. And being that I was the oldest in my family, she was kind of the oldest for her family after her sister left. She pretty much took care, and I really cherished that. Other qualities that I learned to really love a lot was regards to her fashion. She was really big into fashion.
I was fly.
She was fly all the time. Different hairstyles, doing everything on her own, making her own clothes, on and so forth. She loved to cook, host parties, and then on top of that, to be honest with you, she was the one that kind of really put me on to going to church more often. Cause I used to tell her back in the day when I went to church, I just kind of went to church to say I check off the list that I went to church. Mm-hmm. And so when it came to, she would sometimes question me, like, say, what'd you learn from church? When I went to another church, it was like a mega church, and I'd be like, I don't know. I was there the whole time. I was awake and alert, but I couldn't even tell her one or two bullet points from what I learned from that sermon. And so that's when I realized, I need to step my game up. And that's another thing I loved about her as well, that she was into church. She was a God-fearing woman who loved and read the Bible, that could spit out passages left and right. And she can pray like it ain't nothing else. Maybe one step on my prayer game up, really. And then just her personality as well. Like she was spontaneous as well. Like she was willing to, well, on certain things. Let me take that back. Certain things,
Yeah,
she
a
was
little
spontaneous.
bit. Little bit
I'm really
spontaneous.
spontaneous.
He's very
You already know
spontaneous.
that. But I think that kind of sums it up, really. You know,
baby, I love you. Oh, it's so sweet.
Oh, you're welcome.
Whenever Deji and I have a serious argument, which is not often, and honestly, I feel like what we would consider a serious argument, most couples would be like, that's nothing.
Who dropped the hot sauce on the floor?
No,
You
that's
know,
not.
about stuff like that.
But seriously though, the best way for me to deal with disagreement is to give each other space and time to calm down so that we can talk about it respectfully, because I am not into the yelling match stuff. Like I have to get time to calm down and think, because I never want to say anything that's going to disrespect him. I don't want him to feel disrespected ever, because I respect my husband and I don't ever want to say something disrespectful to him. I know I am snappy and I have said rude things before all the time, but I would never hit below the belt. I would never do that. And I just...
Go
have I?
I don't know. I can't remember.
No. If I have...
I can't remember. No, you're right. You haven't. Oh, you have. It's always been above. It's always above. It's always above.
I try not to. At least I'm not aware if I have. He says that I haven't. But I don't want to hit...
stuff yet, so you good.
I don't want to hit below the belt because... this is my teammate. We're in this for the long haul, and people don't forget when you say things like that. You know, they will remember forever. So I try not to ever do that. And yeah, that's pretty much how I handle it. I guess I'm just speaking for myself. I try to give space, time to cool off, and I am a thinker, and I will analyze things in and out, flip it all kinds of ways. And so when we do sit down to talk, like, we're covering all bases, because I have thought about every single little thing, and I need time to do that in order to express myself properly. I feel like I need a little bit of time. So when we do get into arguments or something makes me really angry, like, I just go in another room, or I'll get in my car and go for a little drive and come back.
The driving thing does help.
It does help,
it gets you away from the situation, and that way both of y'all can come back, sit down, and try to talk about it.
Yeah.
And one thing I think that works out for us as well is that when we do talk about it, we also try to factor in try to understand why that person felt this way, and vice versa, instead of just be opinionated and just think about only your opinion only. You gotta also think, because I think they have feelings too, they have emotions as well, so you kind of sometimes have to put yourself in their shoes and vice versa in order to figure out why they felt that way during the argument.
Yeah,
so
you have to
that's
listen
to
to understand.
So listen first before providing. Sometimes it could be where the other person may be mad at you. Sometimes you need to listen. You don't even have to provide any feedback, just listen.
Yeah.
And not provide an answer, just really listen to see where they're coming from. Like, oh, I understand I can see why you felt this way. I remember a time, that's the one thing I learned from marriage counseling, is that sometimes you just need to listen, and then
you have to listen, identify the feeling.
Identify the feeling, and then try to remember a time
when you felt that
way as well,
way.
And then provide that back to your spouse. Like, oh, I see why you felt this way, because I remember when this happened to me, da-da-da-da.
That was a great tool that we learned from marriage counseling, is to, like, if I'm upset with him about something, I'll identify the exact feeling that I'm feeling, whether it be I'm upset, why? Is it because I feel betrayed? Is it because I feel neglected, ignored, hurt, whatever? And then he has to identify a time when he felt that same feeling. Could be a completely different circumstance, but he felt that feeling, so that we can connect on that feeling. And he says, wow, like, I didn't know I made you feel like that. I know what that feels like. I'm sorry. And I believe him, because he's connected it to a time he felt the same way.
Absolutely. And that definitely works. Even if you have to do it every time you have an argument, you'd be surprised. It does work wonders.
Right, yeah. I'm going to say yes and no, because I can't figure out, like, the right term. I'll just explain myself. Okay, so my family upbringing, I feel like my marriage is the opposite of that. And so it's not like a mirror reflection, but I feel like I learned what I did not want from my family upbringing, because my parents' relationship wasn't always the best growing up. And I just knew that I wanted something different. And so I sought out a man that was different from what I saw growing up. A lot of the things the responsibilities that I saw my mom take on, that I didn't agree that she should have to take on. My marriage is not like that. You know, like there are certain things that I don't ever want to do or have to do because my husband says I got that.
I think, I mean, like I said, my parents, they put in a good 30, right at 30 years before I decided to go their separate ways. I definitely learned a lot from them in regards to taking care of the family on and so forth, and just being there. And there's a lot of things I've learned over time. Like, for an example, right now we're actually on our first family vacation. Growing up, I was so used to going on family vacations every year during the summertime, and I remember Brittany telling me that she can't remember the last time she even went on a family vacation.
We never went on
They
family vacation.
never went on.
Not
family
one time
vacation.
did my family ever go on vacation.
And I felt kind of bad. I was like, that's supposed to be standard. I thought that was standard, you know, for anybody, even if you're not Nigerian, just for anybody in period, any family in general should at least be going on vacation at least once a year as a family. You know, that gives them an opportunity to kind of get away, connect, on and so forth.
It's healthy.
So,
it's very healthy.
I kind of learned that in finances. I definitely learned that from a very young age. And I, of course, apply that to our marriage as well, regards not just trying to buy everything and trying to look cool, trying to stand out like everybody else, trying to be your own self, and not try to be in depth, pretty much.
From what I know your parents are not married still, but from what I know of their relationship from before they separated, and just even off the things you told me, like they set a good foundation and they provided a good example of marriage for you guys.
Absolutely.
Sorry guys, my camera just overheated, so I had to take a little break. So the next question.
I think a blessing that we received was the opportunity to do, I think it was only maybe 6 months in or so, our church was actually doing a financial piece, and we actually decided, you know, like, hey, let's try to work on our finances, so on and so forth. We knew we still had student loans, and we gave it a try. And I remember after finishing the program, I think within like 6 or 7 months, we were able to knock off at least $7,000 off of Brittany's student loans. It's her student loans within like 6 or 7 months. So like I realized something like that really does work if you actually put your mind to it and be very cautious about how you're spending your money. Leading up to that, I had car issues with my Nissan, so I had to buy another car. Ended up getting the Volkswagen, and that was a blessing to get another car and be able to pay that off within a year and a half. Still doing the financial piece for that as well. The last two things other than that would be being the ability to buy a house. And then, of course, adding a new addition to our family as well.
I definitely agree. Our baby is the biggest blessing. The Bible says that children are a blessing, and my son is a huge blessing. It's been a very difficult adjustment for me being a mom, especially a stay-at-home mom. It's very demanding, but my son is, he's a huge blessing. And I really feel like he's challenged us, but he's also like caused us to kind of lean on each other for support in ways that we never did before.
Absolutely, because I've been hearing stories from other friends that I know or even single family parents. I'm like, wow, like, how do you do it? It's just you don't have no one else to back
I
you up.
honestly believe,
when you need it.
Yeah, it's taking care of a child is such hard work, and for single parents, like I commend you guys, because it's a job made for two people. It's not made for one. It's really not. It can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done. Y'all make it work, but it's meant for two people. But anyway, that's kind of off topic. But my son is a blessing. I feel like God has blessed us continually in this marriage, because he is always blessing my husband with gainful employment opportunities. Like I'm just amazed sometimes at like how God just provides for us, and especially because I'm not working, my husband is the sole financial provider for the family. God is always blessing him with a raise or promotion or, you know, new job or something, and that has always blown my mind, like really the way God works in that way to provide for our family. I feel like it brings us peace. You know, we don't have to worry about financial stuff, and when there's peace in your marriage, like that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Absolutely.
You know, we feel secure and we feel safe, and we're at peace. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I understand. You know, being married, you realize, you know, things will change over time, but that doesn't mean things should stop. You know, at the end of the day, you still need love on your wife, you still need love on your kids if you decide to have kids on and so forth. Nothing should change with that. Like regards to, you know, making jokes, it shouldn't be just like, hey home, I see you. Like, but let me word it this way: you shouldn't be to the point to where, you know, you guys go to bed but don't never say goodnight to each other or even hug or cuddle and stuff like that. That should still continue in order to continue to build your relationship in your marriage. It shouldn't be just to where y'all just seem like just neighbors or roommates. You know, roommates. That's what Brittany likes to call it. You don't want to be roommates. You know, when you're married, it should be continuously growing, and you know, you should find stuff to do in order to continue to build your relationship. Yeah,
and you have to do that, or else it'll fizzle out. You know, the spark will go because, you know, at first when you're dating, things are exciting and it's a new person and you're all in love. But once you get married and you get into routine and there's, you know, things that you just do every single day, that spark can go away if you don't put in the work to make it stay. You know what I mean? And it's important that you nurture, you know, your marriage, and you allow it room to grow. You allow the person to grow and change, because who you marry on the day of your marriage is not going to stay the same forever. You know, you have to allow people room to grow and discover different parts of themselves, and you're doing the same thing and you're discovering different parts of your relationship. Like, you have to let it grow, you have to nurture it, or else it will die. It's just like any other living thing that if you want it to stay alive, you have to nurture it or it's going to die.
And I will say, with the nurturing part of it, like, you're always going to find something now new about your significant other. Even though you've been together for that long, you're going to like, oh man, I didn't know that. And that's something you got to just kind of keep in the back of your mind. When you do learn something new, okay, I'm going to start doing this, on and so forth.
And I really feel like that's the difference between just being a boyfriend-girlfriend type relationship and being married, is that this person is going to change and do things different, all this stuff. And like, you have to be willing to
adjust
stick with it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Adjust it and stick with it. You can't just walk away because it's not a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You know, you discover this new part about your partner that you may not even like, and you're like, what the? But you have to choose to love this person despite, you know, their flaws or whatever things come up or whatever. Now, there are some things that are huge, you know, that could really challenge your marriage, but you're choosing. When you say I do, you're choosing to love this person and honor this person and be with this person no matter what comes up.
One thing that we do, we've kind of slacked off a little bit, only because we have a new addition to the family, but I would say you definitely continue dating, having fun, going out, just you and your spouse, not you, spouse and kid. That's not the same thing, because what's going to happen is your attention is going to be taken away because you're focusing most of your time on your child, making sure he's not breaking stuff, being acting a fool wherever he's at, which our son does all the time. So yeah, definitely try to plan dates at least twice a month. Like, it could be every 2 weeks.
Date night is important.
Date night is very important, and that could be even just, you know, giving your kids to you know, having the babysitter come pick them up, or leave them at your grandparents or at a friend's house, maybe for 2, 3, 4 hours while you chill, unwind. You can even unwind it down in your own house, because sometimes you can't do that with the child in your house unless they decide to sleep all day, which our son doesn't do. That's very important. And at the same time, try to switch it up. Don't try to do the same thing over and over. Do something different. Do something you haven't done before, in order to keep the sparks flying. Sparks flying. Can I say that?
Yeah, that works.
Sparks flying? I don't know what the saying is.
Keep the spark.
Keep the spark.
There you go.
Yeah, keep the spark. You also need to do, like, sometimes you're going to need some me time. Schedule that as well. And that could be twice.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that.
A month, where, you know, your wife can go out and do what she wants, and you stay, if you have to stay with the kid, or maybe if she wants to stay at the house alone by herself throughout the day, if she wants to do some cleaning up, or just to wind down with some wine, or take a bath, or to catch up on all the soap operas, whatever the case may be. You know, even same thing for the guy. If he can go out with his boys, maybe once a month or something like that, so that way it doesn't seem like
You're not consumed.
You're not
with
consumed.
Just, you
Just
know, your family life.
family
And I mean,
life.
and a lot of what you just said is in regards to married couples that have children, but also if you don't have children, it's me time is still important because you're still, even though you come together as one, you're still like your own person, you know, and you need time for yourself so that you can be the best you to give to the relationship. You know, if you're all burnt out and stressed out and stuff, like that's just not, it's not gonna work. Trust me, I know. Okay,
it's not gonna cut it at all.
It's not gonna cut it. So I definitely say what we do to keep our relationship growing is, and we honestly, I'll just be real, we need to do better with this. We really do have to do better. But having time for just me and you know, to go on dates. We've been trying to do that a little bit more recently. Because our son just turned a year old. So we're trying to incorporate more date nights and also me time. Giving him time alone to do his own thing, giving me time alone to do my own thing. That's important to keep our marriage strong and growing, because a marriage is made up of two people, and those two people need to be at their best to make the thing work. Because if you got, you know, somebody is struggling, like we're a team, we got to support each other, and that means, you know, I need to be doing well enough to support you. You got to be doing well enough to support me.
Absolutely right.
So that pretty much wraps up our discussion on marriage. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope that you were able to learn something from us or be inspired by us in some kind of way. I really am glad that this video was requested, because I think that it's a great topic to talk about.
Absolutely. Very, very
it's not
important.
talked about enough. You know, people put a lot of emphasis on, you know, boyfriend girlfriend relationships, and they don't talk about, or even like the great parts of marriage. We don't talk about like the struggles and the things that you have to do to maintain it and to make it work. Because marriage is beautiful, but you have to, you know, put in a little work to maintain it and make sure that it's functioning at its best. So
marriage is not just about love, it's also about caring.
Ooh, look at you about to speak
it's just not just about love, because, you know, oh, I love the person, I want to marry him. Like, you
love
sure about that?
Enough.
You sure? You really have to know the person. You're not going to know the person entirely, but know him enough to make sure that's what you want. Like I said, leading up to that would be, I honestly will say this, you'll get to know more about your spouse or partner. They even have a premarital counseling.
Premarital counseling?
No, they have one after that. Postmarital. Even if you get married, let's say you got married and you didn't do any marital counseling at all.
You can do marital counseling.
You can do marital counseling or postmarital, whatever you want to call it. That's still helpful as well, because that way you be like, oh man, I missed this out. I missed this before we got married. This is something we can incorporate now in order to build a strong relationship. So I would say any marital counseling will help. Period.
It'll help.
And
counseling helps.
Especially if you're doing a group, because that way you can kind of see what other. You're not the only one. Because when we did it with a group of 8 other couples, and so we got to see what other couples were going through.
Yeah, and we're still friends with a few of those couples, and I miss saying that on that question about the blessings in our marriage. Like, that was a huge blessing to have other couples who were married the same time we were, like the same year. We're all going through like similar struggles with trying to like come together as one.
Absolutely.
That was really great to have other couples support. So
because what happens is you end up learning from their mistakes.
Yeah, you learn from them. They learn from you
as well. Still, you know, we still keep in touch, hang out, all the good stuff.
Let's hurry up and wrap this up, because
your little man's getting up, as you can hear from the background.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like it. Leave a comment down below so we can keep discussing, and make sure you click the bell to get any notifications for future videos. Is there anything I'm leaving off? All this YouTube stuff that you got to do, clicking bells and thumbs up and commenting.
And then also, if there's any other stuff that you want us to talk about,
leave a request down below.
We do not mind making a video of that. You know, thank you again for watching. Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
You need the piece, unfortunately, with you.
He's looking like, what are they doing in there?
Come on.
All right, bye, guys.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, Lord.
Hi, baby.
Is it still there?
Hi, baby.
Panda.
You want mommy? Okay.